Well, hey everybody. It's Monday, the 25th day of August, 2025. I'm Jan Erickson, and this is As Above, So Below. Well, they haven't updated the fire close to us yet, but it went from 3,000 acres, give or take, to now almost 22,000. And it's heading in the direction of sisters. So, anyway, we're going to hope for the best that they can do something today to stop that any further. But it's hard. The wind is up and it just fuels everything. So they got a lot of people working on it though. So hopefully they'll start to make progress. Let's go ahead and take a rune for today from the Elder Futhark bag. We have Laguz. Now, Laguz is the 21st rune of the Elder Futhark. It literally means flow. And you're looking at kind of a skewed form of Kenaz there. Kenaz is like this. And if you kind of look at it, it's like that, only you'd have to look at it kind of like that. But anyway, so it's literally flow from spirit. But if you look at it more in a more mundane way, then it's just flow. And basically, we're looking at clairsentience. We're looking at emotional balance, drawing energy back to you. It looks like a little hook, and so if you're empathic, you can do a meditation where, just a quick one, where you visualize all of your energy channels leaving you, and you can watch them dissolve, and then use Laguz, chant Laguz softly, and sort of pull your energy back to you. That's just yours, instead of keeping attachments that maybe you didn't create. Someone else might have connected to your energy. Empaths are very aware of those kinds of things. I know I am, and it feels funny, if you have problems going into large stores or areas where there's just a lot of congestion, a lot of people. You're picking up on that extra energy, and it's difficult to process. And so Laguz, you can just chant that softly to yourself and just sort of create a bubble of protection around you. Visualize that, and just keep yourself safe, and your emotional balance will stay a little bit better when you're in situations like that. But it's harmony. It's useful again in trance work, dream work. But it's flow from spirit, flow from higher awareness, and not allowing the reactive ego to notice everything. Just keep on walking. Don't notice anything, because sometimes it's hard to let go of it. I know for me, I can walk in an aisle in a grocery store, for example, and when there's a lot of people, even if there's not, if somebody's upset, if like a child's upset and I get anywhere close to it, I just feel it, and it doesn't feel good, and I want to do something, but I can't. And so if I can smile at the child, if I'm in a grocery store now, I'm in a mask, so that's probably scary, but still, you try to smile, or you try to connect some way, maybe get them out of that mood that they're in. But you get mom that's frustrated, I'll feel that, or dad that's frustrated, I'll feel that, and it doesn't feel good. So, but the rune Laguz is a very nice energy, and it helps you flow in the direction you need to flow in. Let's see what we have here. It looks like we have we have Albus. Well, that's better than Rubius. Albus is the sage. It's wisdom, it's clarity, but higher clarity. Whereas Rubius would be a misuse of force and ego on steroids, basically. Okay, where are you? Well, worst case, I can just turn Rubius upside down. Did I put it somewhere? Oh, there it is. It's upside down. I didn't see it. Okay, here we go. We have Albus. Again, the sage, higher wisdom, clarity. And again, even though right now, for a lot of people, the idea of reacting to everything that's going on is, if you're on social media, it's just one big reaction after another, and sometimes you just gotta set it down. You can't be looking at it, because it doesn't do any good. There's a lot of scare tactics and fear mongering and all of that. And it's not that there aren't things to be concerned about, because there are, obviously, but it does impact your ability to flow in a much better, more harmonious and balanced way emotionally. And Laguz is just saying, take time to do that, and don't be. Go binge watch something a show you really like, and just to sort of lose yourself in something else that has nothing to do with what's going on around us right now. Just to give yourself a few moments to do that, and then try to take that time every day, as often as you can. Because let's face it, there's a lot of unknowns, a lot of things that are happening right now that in a way it makes you not recognize where you live anymore. It's different. And so it can create a level of fear and fear-based reactions that can get the better of you, and you really don't need that. You need to stay in control and out of that fear-based reaction that we tend to get involved in, because you look around and you read the news, you go on social media, you see what's going on, you see news reports on there, and it's like, wow, when's that going to happen over my end of the woods kind of thing. And so I think what's pulling Laguz today, with Albus, is that the higher wisdom is to just let spirit flow in you and ignore the rest, as much as you can. So let me go ahead and do the numerology here. We have the Lovers, the 8 of Wands, and the 7 of Cups. I'm going to leave them in the order they're in for now, and we'll see. But let's go ahead and it was 21 for Laguz, plus 6 for the Lovers. That's from the Major Arcana, plus 7. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not the 8 of Wands, this is 7 of Wands. It's like, wake up. And another 7. Well, just in looking at, we have 41, so 4 and 1 is 5. Let me do it one more time. I'm getting caught up in the cards itself. Here's a 6. That's a 7. And another 7. 41 is 5. So, because 4 and 1 is 5. So we'll reduce it to 5. 5 is about change. It's about protection, freedom versus restriction, innovation, variety, lots of different ideas and concepts within number 5. But change and protection for me are the two keywords of 5. And you look at the pentagram, there's 5 points to it. So a pentagram is a protective type of amulet or talisman, depending on how you want to see it. It's why lots of people wear a pentagram. I wear a pentagram from time to time, as a necklace. But let's see if I have one here. No, that's the. I don't have one in here. Hanging. Let's see. Does this one have it? No, it does not. And this has the Tree of Life on it. So I don't have one in here. I have one in another room that I wear from time to time. But especially in times of change, you want to protect yourself, and not have the fear-based reaction that you will often have. And so again, flowing in spirit with Laguz and higher wisdom with Albus, it's just they're reinforcing one another. And so as the changes are around you, as you experience that, you want to protect yourself, you protect yourself the best by removing the ego from the equation and just simply understanding things from the standpoint of what you actually are, which is a soul, and from that soul perspective, which is, and I find it interesting that we have the 7 of Wands and the 7 of Cups. You're looking at with Wands, you're looking at the will, that's the fire element. standing your ground with the 7. And then you can look at the 7 of Cups in a couple different ways. You can look at it as maybe a lack of balance, and whereas the 7 of Wands is trying to find a better balance while you protect your ground, you're standing your ground. A 7 is also about observation, but it's also about balance, letting things settle out. And like the scale, I tend to use the depiction of a scale as a depiction for the number 7, because you put whatever on the pans, right, and you find a way to settle out. You put in, say you're going to put a weight on here, and you're going to find a way to settle that out, and you observe it as it does, so you see what you have when all is said and done. So it's standing back away from everything and getting a different perspective. And Albus would suggest, and Laguz would suggest, this is a higher perspective about whatever's happening, whatever changes are going on in your life right now. The Lover's card is an interesting card. Another kind of balance here, but this balances toward the divine feminine, in my opinion, in terms of the weight of it. But again, you're still looking at 2 cards of balance here, and emotional balance with Laguz. And so balance is an issue today in terms of the changes. You've got to stay balanced. You've got to stay, higher, and seeing things, make sure you understand the whole picture before you react. And maybe the reaction is to not react, okay? And to stay in control of everything as things are changing. Protect yourself that way. That would be one way to start this out. But with the Lover's card, it's a card about balance, polarity in a sense. You see Eve here with a tree of life behind her. You can see the serpent coiled around. You see Adam here with a spindly oak tree. So that's still in development. She's focused on the angel above. She's focused on higher awareness, essentially, while he's looking at her. You see the mountain aiming a bit for her, and so the strength of the issues bend toward the divine feminine. And so Laguz in and of itself would be a very divine feminine type of an experience, where you're coming from the void of creation and giving birth to something that's filled with a little more discernment. When you look at the Lovers, again, you're looking at balance and duality, dual polarity here, the duality of that. You're looking at choice and discrimination, not discrimination in a bad way, but making I probably should say discernment. Where you can discern what's really going on. Again, when you're looking at the number 7 here, which is involved in the reading, you want to be able to discern what's really going on. And so you step back, you observe, you let things settle out, and you keep your emotions in check. You do not react emotionally to any of it. And because oftentimes where change is happening, the reaction is fear-based again. So just remember that. But the Lovers is about self and others, and into integration, and how you integrate the soul into physical reality, and in terms of the egoic reaction. The soul is to govern that, not the other way around. You don't find your soul when your body dies. You don't have a body without the soul. It's the vehicle. So it wouldn't exist if the soul wasn't here having a physical experience. And so it's not that you can't access the soul. You are the soul. You just have to remember that and acknowledge it, and start to feel differently, and stay in a different type of control than to allow whatever's playing out around you, which you can look at as just a bunch of ego, right? Especially when it's a bunch of drama. That's just a bunch of ego. And it does not have anyone's best interests at heart, other than maybe the person starting it, and the personal agenda they have. And so you have to be able to stay focused on the soul's resonance and the soul's vision, if you will, higher awareness's vision of what's going on. And if we're just here to watch this all unfold, then why would we react? Until it's time to make a decision and do something positive to try to impact things in a better way, right? In a more wise way with Albus here. And so with the lovers, there could be something here today. This doesn't necessarily involve partnership. It could, but it doesn't necessarily have to. But again, uh, where are you looking? Are you looking at her, or are you looking at the angel? you know this would be, you're looking at her, then it's physical reality. You look at the angel, it's the collective consciousness, it's the soul, it's higher clarity, higher awareness, a higher act of will, right? And so, but again, there could be something where you need to understand, when you look out at everybody else, that's just the other side of self, giving you information about what this whole scenario is all about. And so you make that connection in a way, again, that's from a higher perspective, not getting down into the muck of the ego of everything. So you want this to be this is probably going to, because it's a major arcana card and a soul archetype card, it's going to align best with Laguz here. But you want to have that flow from spirit and that connection there, constantly in your mind when things are getting a little iffy, and you're starting to react emotionally from it. It's like, okay, well, what is this situation trying to tell me? What are these people that I'm a little bit annoyed with, what are they trying to tell me? What are they trying to tell me about myself? What are they trying to tell me about these emotions that are coming up for myself? What is the whole message there? So that's one way to look at that. Here we have a situation, though, where we're standing our ground. As much as I hate the stance there, because he's leaving his groin wide open. I did martial arts. I'm a black belt, and I did martial arts. My husband and I taught. We had a school, and so we would never allow a student to stand this way. It was just not going to happen. It's like, well, I'm open. Why would you be? But anyway, he's got his staff right there. He's up higher. He sees all the staffs coming in on him. Again, fire element. It could be a matter of, he doesn't have a very good look on his face, so he's not happy. But he's trying to find a different balance and a different understanding of what's coming in on him as he defends his position. Maybe this is a situation at work where you are presenting an idea and other people want their ideas to be heard. Well, that's fine. Everybody's idea needs to be heard, but then they seem to want to attack you for yours. Well, sometimes that happens because they're afraid of your idea, that yours is going to be the one that the boss chooses, for example, as we'll do this one. I like this one the best. This one had the best presentation. So in a sense, you're defending your position here. And you're getting higher above everything so that you can actually see what you have to contend with. In a sense, letting things settle out while you defend your position here. But don't stand like this. Not a good thing. But anyway. And again, they may try to see your ideas as unrealistic. Here you see a man in we assume a man because the hair is shorter, but it could be a woman, in silhouette. So this is a dream state. You see the dark clouds here. So this is all dream state. You see the different things that he may want in life. Here you have an angel. I know it looks weird, looks like a hat, but it's really an angel that's covered in a veil. This would be an individual that he wants. Some serpent energy, might be some power there. A new home. You can see the castle there at the top of the peak there. Jewels, so riches and jewels. Success with the wreath. With your little dragon energy, that's also, this could be knowledge, this could be power, but knowledge is power, so they're kind of interchangeable. So some may try to portray your ideas then here today as unrealistic and not doable. But here's the other side of this equation. I have a really hard time thinking about this as a bad thing or being unrealistic, although that's one of the typical interpretations of this card. It's just that if you don't shoot for the stars, if you don't dream new dreams, how do it might not be relevant or doable in this moment, But a year from now, what if it is? What if suddenly a door opens and you can manifest something here? So don't let go of dreaming, having new ideas and dreaming them into existence, because you just never know. And why would you limit yourself to the waking moment where self-doubt comes in and ego comes in and says, oh no, you can't do any of that. But in the dream state, all things are possible, right? And because some believe that when you're dreaming, you are simply accessing other timelines or lifetimes or soul expressions, and you're just taking a look at what's going on there. As weird as that may sound, and as weird as the dreams might be, it could be something that's saying to you, there are other possibilities in this lifetime that you live as a soul, all the myriad lifetimes you live. Lots of different things can happen. And so why limit yourself to something that is just here in this realm, that you will find all kinds of reasons to talk yourself out of, right? But, it could be here that in terms of the Lover's card, you're trying to find some integration with other people here that may not happen because they're afraid of what you have to say and what you're presenting, and you may feel like you have to defend your position here today. And again, it kind of seems like it's probably at work, but I mean, it could be with family, it could be with neighbors, it could be anything really, but probably something that's work related, where you have to defend your ideas and they may be calling them unrealistic. And again, you may be in the position where you have to make the argument, well, you may think that they're unrealistic, but maybe all we have to do is tweak it a little to make it realistic. Maybe you're providing the framework or the groundwork for something that could be really lucrative for the business you work in, if it's that type of thing, or an approach to a problem, or whatever it is. You may be closer to solving it with your ideas than the other people are down below here, right? And maybe they don't like that, and so they want to undermine you, or take what you say and turn it into something fanciful instead of something that's realistic. But oftentimes things that might appear not doable in the moment, you start talking about it and working through it, and you find a way. And so again, you'd like a better integration with the people you work with, but in this moment, maybe that's not happening. And so don't put yourself in a position where you can't hear what their ideas are, because it may be something where yours can be expanded upon or tweaked a little bit to make it even better. And then everybody feels a little more included. These folks may not down below, this may represent people that aren't included in this or feel not included. And when they don't feel included, then they're going to say stuff, right? That, well, we can't do that because it's unrealistic. It's not based in any truth. There's no part of that we can accept, except there probably is, and that's why they're acting the way they are. They want what they want to happen instead of want to hear what you have to say. And so you may need to come up with another type of presentation of it, in fact, of what your ideas are. It may not matter to the people around you, but it may matter to the boss. And plus your willingness to hear out what everybody, hear others and what they have to say, hear them out. That's also a positive thing. And but again, I think that there's a change happening today where you need to protect yourself clearly. And you need to get higher. You need to see it from a higher perspective. You need to be able to see what everybody's talking about, and how all of, and whether or not you can extrapolate anything from what they have to say. And likely you can, to try to, give them a voice in what you're suggesting. That's always a good thing. That gets people on board where maybe initially they're not. And So don't be afraid to defend yourself and what you're saying. Listen to other people and what they're saying too. Again, in case there could be a positive contribution to what you're doing, or what you're offering, and what you're standing your ground about. All that's a reflective of higher wisdom with Albus, and try to flow in harmony with these folks ultimately. And bring that in, demonstrate that willingness by listening, by trying to incorporate what they're saying into what you're saying, and to make it all better. In other words, your idea is your idea, but you're willing to step back from it to say, well, how can we improve on this? How can we massage it a little bit, and have other people's voices contribute to what the final outcome is going to be? So that could be what's going on today for you. And again, it's kind of like being the adult in the room in a way. You can't hang on to the ideas so tightly that you can't allow for any type of alteration to it to make it better. The goal has got to be, what is the solution here? How do we approach this problem, or which new opportunity do we take, or whatever? There has to be some kind of an agreement eventually on what that is, and trying to include people, having some level of harmony with others, collaboration with others. Can be a good thing here in terms of protecting your own ideas. See, and then in the future, when you come up with something, everybody's coming up with different things, It's like in the Five of Wands, where you got five guys, they all have their staffs, and they're asserting their ideas everywhere. They're not, it looks like they're fighting, but they're not. But nobody's listening to each other either, right? And so the Six shows people coming back from a meeting or some kind of deal victorious. You got the lord of the manor, I don't think it's the king, but I think it's probably like a lord of the manor on the horse, so he's sitting higher. Six has always got an imbalance there, and depending, it doesn't matter which suit it is. They're all the sixes are like that. But here you're trying to find a better one without giving up what you're trying to offer here. And so I think that today is about balance and harmony and collaboration and how that unfolds. And you want to make sure that you're flowing in spirit, that you have a soul focus, SOUL focus, and SOLE, your soul's focus, driving the car here, driving the experience for yourself today. Stay in a non-reactive type of a emotionally reactive attitude and mindset, if you will, or heart set maybe, and try to flow in harmony, even though they're coming at you. Keep that as the main focus, and stay open and stay flexible to other people's ideas to help shape what you're offering. Because that will increase the harmony and the collaborative experience for you. It'll make it better in the long run. So anyhow, thanks for watching on a Monday. I have to go outside and see if it's smoky. I'm sure it is, but it depends on the way the wind's blowing. Some hours it's better than others, but we'll be really hopeful that they'll make better progress today to stop the advancement of that awful fire. It's in, I suspect it's in the Ponderosa Pines now. I don't know. I'm not sure. But when it gets into the Sisters area, not Sisters proper, but the area, that's more forest, whereas it started out in grassland and brushland and juniper land. But we're on the high desert here, so we're not that far from the forest. You could just go to the next town over and you've got Ponderosa pines everywhere. So it's an elevation thing here for all of us. But in that area it's very flat, and so the wind can really sweep things along and increase the fire if there's one out there. And it was over close to Lake Billy Chinook is when it started, but that's in the Culver area. And but west of Culver is where it started. And it's moving southwest, I think it would technically be, towards sisters, and that's not good. Lots of homes in there that are at risk. So lots of homes where not as probably as many where it started, but in sisters definitely. So, and everybody lives in the woods up there. So I don't know. It's a dangerous place to live, really, especially when you have fires like we do here. So anyway, thanks again for watching, and everything's out on the blog over at Stepping Aside. The web address there is imsteppingaside.com. Again, if you forget that, just click on more below the video. Just click on that word. It'll open up a box and it'll show it right at the top. And the forecast is out for the week. The correspondences for Work and Magic are out for the week. And then I do write-ups on both readings during the week, just reading notes. And it's not like a transcript or anything. And that'll be up. The one for today will be up here shortly, and then on Thursday I'll do the same then. And then I said I'm going to start a herb series again. I think I will. I'm just trying to think about what approach I want to take this time. I don't like to do the same thing, each time. I like to kind of switch it up a little bit and give other aspects of things. But anyway, thanks for watching, and if you haven't yet clicked subscribed, I'd love you to do that, and come back again on Thursday for another edition of As Above, So Below. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.